Okay, today in science, we are going to be working on types of forces. Yesterday, we talked a little bit, very briefly, about contact forces, and we're going to revisit those again today, and then we're going to move on from there. Today is going to be a day that's semi-heavy in writing, so you're going to have a lot of questions you have to answer. They're going to have some text evidence with it. Because of that, I'm going to do a lot of the reading for you today, but all this reading can also be found in the science textbook handbook as well. So we're going to start with forces. First of all, what did we learn yesterday about forces? Right. Fabulous. A force is a? So when you throw a ball, it's a? When you're riding your bike, it's a? When you're braking, it's a? It's a pull that causes a push. Isn't that kind of cool? Because when you brake, and you pull the brakes, you're pulling, but your brakes are pushing in to cause a stop. They're causing friction, which stops it. So today we're going to revisit those contact forces from yesterday, and then keep reading from there to learn a little bit more about non-contact forces. So I'll just leave our reading here. This is a review from yesterday. We read the first part yesterday, talking about contact forces with baseball. So when you throw the ball, you're touching the, when you hit the ball with the bat, your ball is touching the, so you see the contact there. When you have to go catch a ball, you're stopping its motion, but what's in contact? The ball and the hand or the glove, right? So we also have friction, and friction is an example. It's probably the biggest example of that contact force. And friction is a force that occurs when one object rubs against another. So we see this girl on the slide. Is there friction there?
Yes.
Yep, she's rubbing on what?
The slide.
The slide. Her booty's going down that slide, so she's rubbing on it. Is there a lot of friction or a little bit of friction?
A little bit.
Just a little. We talked about it yesterday. It's a smooth surface, right? So she's going to be able to go pretty quick and pretty easy on it. What is something that would have a lot of friction? There would be more friction. It would slow you down faster. Charlie?
Bricks.
Bricks, like if you were sliding on bricks? Yeah, that would be a good one. Brock?
Sandpaper.
Sandpaper. That was our discussion yesterday, right? That if you're on sandpaper, is that going to be very slick and smooth and easy to go on? So there's a lot more friction there with different surfaces. And yesterday we read about increasing and reducing friction a little bit. So what I want us to talk about today is just kind of go back and do some review questions with that. So why is friction a contact force? We just came off of contact forces. Why is friction a contact force? Haley.
Because, like when she's on the slide, she's touching the slide.
Exactly. In order to have friction, things have to touch, right? Whether it's a little bit of friction like on ice or a lot of friction like on sandpaper. It has to be touching. Good. In what direction does friction act? Is it a push or is it a pull? It's a push, right? It's that push. Friction is going to be acting in that opposite direction of the motion. So if we're trying to zoom fast, really fast that way, and we slam on our brakes on our bike, that friction is going to stop us. It's going to get us going in that, not opposite direction, but at least getting us stopping. Good. What types of surfaces have less friction? Turn and brainstorm ideas with your neighbor. Three, two, one. I heard people reviewing or bringing up things we've said. Slide, ice. I heard at the very last minute, Charlie said butter, right? Something that's going to be smooth or slippery is going to have a lot less friction than something that's rough, that's going to be rough. And you know what? I'm thinking about it. It doesn't have to be rough in order to have a lot of friction, but like carpet, right? It's not rough. Or like even my pillow. My pillow is super soft, but if I'm trying to like slide along a pillow, even though it's fluffy, it's got a lot to it, doesn't it? So it's got more friction. Good. And how could friction be harmful? think back to that increasing and reducing friction too. How could friction be harmful? Kaylin? Yeah, but I feel like on the road you could fall anyway. And I guess if you fell and you slid and there was friction there, then you could scrape yourself up. But yeah.
Like if you try like crawling across carpet, you can get a rug burn on you.
Yep, I think that goes without saying, right? That getting those rug burns on yourself. What about for like machinery? If there's friction in machines or there's a lot of friction, what could happen to those machines? They could, because they would what? Eventually, they'd eventually break, right? And that could cause some damage as well. Perfect. Today we're going to switch direction a little bit. Still thinking about force though. We're going to talk about balanced and unbalanced forces next.